don't care what happens to her at all. I don't care. Like, everybody they tiptoe around with this social media, but what y'all don't get is that it be real consequence for y'all little flexes, y'all quick flexes for $300 that you need. It be consequence.
Okay, y'all. This one's messy. Like, seriously messy. If you thought things between Teyana Taylor, Iman Shumpert, and Pierre couldn't get any crazier, baby, buckle up, because the tea is boiling over. Apparently, Iman just found out Teyana's been secretly texting Aaron. And let's just say, he's not happy. We're talking exposed messages, jealousy, betrayal, and a love triangle that's spinning completely out of control. Now, before we jump into the receipts, let's take it back real quick. We all remember when Teyana and Iman were the power couple. Their love looked perfect from the outside. They had the kind of chemistry that made people believe in real love again. Red carpet looks, matching outfits, a beautiful daughter, everything seemed so perfect. But clearly it wasn't. Because behind closed doors, things weren't nearly as picture perfect as they looked. They ended up splitting. And while it seemed respectful and quiet at first, the drama that's come out since? Whew. It's giving. Everything but quiet. Shortly after the breakup, Teyana was linked to Pierre. You might recognize him. British actor, rising star, fine as hell, and just mysterious enough to make the internet swoon. At first, everyone thought he was just a rebound, but then the rumors started flying that it was deeper than that. Some even said Teyana was pregnant by him. That alone had the blogs in flames. But now, there's a new twist. Allegedly, Iman somehow got his hands on private messages between Teyana and Aaron. And these aren't just old messages from when they were together. Nope. These are recent. Like, while Teyana and Iman were supposedly working things out, co-parenting, maybe even talking about rekindling things, Teyana was still in touch with Aaron. Sources close to Iman say he was blindsided, completely shocked. The messages, according to the source, weren't anything explicit, but they weren't innocent either. Think stuff like, "I miss your energy," or "You always knew how to make me feel safe." And then one that really hit him hard. "I don't think I'll ever connect with anyone the way I did with you." Ouch. Imagine reading that from someone you're trying to rebuild a life with. Iman felt betrayed, humiliated, and worst of all, confused. Because in his mind, they were making progress. They were spending more time together, doing things as a family, and he thought maybe, just maybe, there was still hope. But those texts changed everything. Now here's where it gets even messier. Some say Iman didn't just confront Teyana privately. Word is he showed the text to a few of his close friends who couldn't keep their mouths shut. And before you know it, the streets were talking. Blogs picked it up. Twitter went into meltdown. And suddenly everyone was asking the same question. Is Teyana still in love with Aaron? Teyana, for her part, hasn't said much publicly, but insiders say she was furious that Iman went through her phone, or however he got the messages. She feels like he violated her privacy, and she's denying that there was anything romantic going on. According to her, the messages were taken out of context. She says she was just being supportive of Aaron, someone who was there for her when she was at her lowest. But Iman's not buying it, and honestly, neither are a lot of fans. Because let's be real, when you're telling your ex they made you feel safe and you don't think you'll connect with anyone else like you did with them, that's not just friendly, that's emotional intimacy. That's the kind of bond that runs deep. And if you're trying to rebuild a relationship with someone else, that's betrayal. Plain and simple. People online are divided. Some folks are defending Teyana, saying she's allowed to have friendships, even complicated ones. That emotional healing doesn't always look clean. That maybe she's just trying to figure out her path after a painful breakup. But others are dragging her, calling her manipulative, messy, and playing two men against each other. And then there's Aaron. Poor Aaron, who probably thought he was out of the drama. But now his name is back in everyone's mouths. Some fans are wondering if he even knew she was still texting him while spending time with Iman. Was he leading her on too? Or was she the one reaching out, keeping the door open when it should have been closed? From what we're hearing, Aaron has gone completely silent. He hasn't responded to the rumors, hasn't posted anything shady, just silence. Which, in celebrity world, sometimes says more than words ever could. People are speculating that he's distancing himself, that he doesn't want to be part of this messy triangle anymore. And honestly, who could blame him? Because this whole situation is spiraling. Iman feels hurt and exposed. Teyana feels violated and misunderstood. Aaron is ghost. And the internet is eating it up like popcorn. But let's look at this from Iman's side for a second. Imagine trying to put your family back together, doing your best to co-parent peacefully, maybe even letting your guard down, and then discovering your ex-wife is still emotionally involved with the guy who came after you. That stings. And for someone like Iman, who's been through his own share of scandals and headlines, this probably felt like a final blow. Insiders say he was pacing the floor, talking to himself, saying things like, "I knew it. I knew she wasn't done with him." Apparently, he even told a friend, "She's got unfinished business with that man." And honestly, that might be true, because sometimes it's not just about physical cheating. Sometimes it's the emotional cheating. That cuts deeper. Those late-night texts, the checking in, the thinking of you messages, those create an emotional bond that can be just as powerful as anything physical. And if you're on the receiving end of that betrayal, yeah, that hurts. There's even a rumor now that Iman's thinking about taking a step back from co-parenting activities. Not in a petty way, but just to create distance. He feels like he needs to protect his peace, his heart. Because being around Teyana after reading those messages, that's a kind of hurt you don't bounce back from quickly. Fans have officially entered detective mode. Ever since things started unraveling, Teyana's recent posts have become ground zero for analysis. Screenshots, Reddit threads, Twitter theories, everyone's searching for signs. She's been sharing a lot of self-love and healing quotes lately. One post read, "Sometimes you have to lose everything to find yourself again." Another said, "People only understand you from the level they're on. Heal anyway." To some, it's inspiring, but to others, it feels strategic. Critics are calling her out, saying she's shifting the narrative, playing the victim, gaslighting even. They argue she's trying to cast herself as the wounded heroine in a story where she might actually be the one holding the match that set the whole thing on fire. But that's not the whole picture. Not by a long shot. Because if you followed Teyana's journey, you know she's been through it. This is a woman who's hustled her entire life. She's juggled motherhood, a demanding career in music and fashion, heartbreak, and the constant scrutiny of fame. Her strength isn't up for debate. So maybe these posts aren't manipulation. Maybe they're just a woman's attempt to stay grounded while her world spins out of control. Meanwhile, Aaron has gone completely MIA. No statements, no posts, no likes or retweets. But behind the scenes, insiders say he's rattled. Word is he never saw this coming. Not the leak, not the fallout, and definitely not Iman finding out. Apparently, he's shaken and unsure of how to move forward. And that brings us to Iman, the one everyone's watching now. He's stayed quiet publicly, but sources close to him say the betrayal hit hard. There's talk he's distancing himself, maybe permanently. But then again, history shows us chaos has a way of pulling people back in. So now, everyone waits. Will Teyana finally speak up? Will she address the messages, the rumors, the silence? Will Iman walk away for good? And Aaron, will he step up and share his side or keep hiding in the shadows? Whatever happens next, one thing's for sure. This storm is far from over. People are calling it the messiest breakup triangle of the year. And honestly, they might be right. Because this isn't just one relationship falling apart. It's 3 lives, tangled in heartbreak, secrets, blurred lines, and a spotlight that refuses to dim. It's Teyana, Iman, and Aaron, each trying to make sense of the wreckage in their own way. Each one caught between love, loyalty, ego, and pain. At its core, this story is about more than just cheating rumors or leaked messages. It's about trust, broken, stretched, tested. It's about the emotional fallout when private moments become public entertainment. And it's about the very human need to feel seen, understood, and validated, even when everything around you is falling. Apart right now, social media is on fire. Fans are dissecting every screenshot, every caption, every subtle unfollow. People are picking sides. Team Teyana, Team Iman, Team Aaron. Everyone's got a theory, a take, a hot opinion. But somewhere in the middle of all the noise, there's a much quieter truth. This is a story about love gone wrong, about boundaries that were crossed, about intentions that maybe weren't as innocent as they seemed, and about emotional wounds that never really got the chance to heal. And let's be real, this story isn't over, not even close. There are still unanswered questions, layers we haven't seen yet, and if the internet is right, probably a few more messages out there just waiting to be exposed, messages that could flip the narrative all over again. So, what do you think? Was Teyana out of line for still texting Aaron? Was Iman justified in feeling betrayed? Should Aaron break his silence or keep his distance? Is there even a version of this story that ends without more heartbreak? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Like, share, and subscribe. Because if there's one thing we know for sure, it's this. The drama isn't cooling down anytime soon. And we'll be right here, breaking it all down, one messy twist at a time.